Welcome, friends, let's continue my story. I am now 4 years old. It's time to begin my journey into the world. Over the years, my world, at first, was confined within the boundaries of our homestead, shared with close relatives. In those days, my sibling and I engaged in simple activities, bathing, dressing up, and engaging in playful escapades in the sunlit corners of our backyard. Yet, a significant part of our existence was dedicated to a rather singular pursuit, the art of eating. Oh, how we reveled in this essential activity! There were times when we were indulged to the point of fatigue, rendered almost lazy, even at the dining table. A particular memory stands out in my mind. It was a day when I overindulged, devouring a hearty helping of pounded yam that had been prepared the previous night for those observing a fast. The weight of my gluttony proved too much for me to bear. I found myself unable to rise from my spot. Drifting into a slumber right where I sat,
I was only rescued from my food-induced stupor by the gentle hands of my mother and the kind lady known as Mama Adewale. They carried me to my room, allowing me to sleep off the excesses of my feast. In addition to the previous episode and in my recollections, another incident emerges. On a night leading up to a fasting exercise, I awoke to join the elder folks in a midnight meal. Yet, my body, already laden with the previous day's food, did not go well with my insatiable appetite. As I rose from slumber, a feeling within my stomach similar to a swallowing of hefty stone weighing down my stomach greeted me. I got highly discomforted as I tried to shake off the heaviness. Eventually, the day turned to evening. I eventually got relieved, and with it came a resolution not to indulge so recklessly again. It was then that the first seeds of moderation were sown within me. However, life in the village was more than just these overindulgence in food escapades. The evenings and nights were alive with the presence of people gathering and mingling. Sometimes I find it hard to go back home because I enjoyed people company a lot. In my youthful imagination, I pictured everyone to be like my family. Occasionally, I forgot myself in people's homes feeling cool. My father, a figure rarely seen, was known to work for the colonial government, a group that held sway before our nation's emancipation. Although I enjoyed his magnanimity and philanthropic tendencies, amidst these everyday occurrences, an event stood out like a radiant gem. I watched in complete surprise one day as 3 neighborhood children, dressed in matching, beautifully crafted garments, coming from a narrow bush path leading to the missionaries' quarter in our village, well excited. This sight was unlike anything I had seen before, and I hurriedly asked my mother to explain the seemingly festive attire worn by the fellows. My curiosity spilled over as I questioned why we were not participating in this festival-like affair which I suspected is going on, a departure from our usual practice. In our village, a multitude of festivals colored our lives, 3 rooted in conventional religion and 3 steeped in tradition and its spiritual facets. Yet, my family's involvement was confined to the conventions of the former. It was a revelation when my mother explained that these children were not partaking in a festival. Instead, they were returning from school, where they were imbibing knowledge. The world of learning beckoned, promising a future ripe with discovery, and I found myself eager to join their ranks as soon as my hand could span the distance from my ear across my head. Such a measure, though quaint, was the gauge of readiness for schooling, a criterion that, unfortunately, denied many their educational dreams and delayed others on their journey. Among those 3 children were Auntie Borler, Shorler, and John, the offspring of a recent convert to Christianity from a neighboring village. It was customary in African society to address older girls as auntie and older boys as brother, a mark of respect for one's elders. As time goes by, I reached the tender age of 4, signaling that my voyage into the realm of education was about to commence. At the dawn of a new academic session, preparations began for prospective students to undergo interviews for school admission. Due to my young age, I was accompanied by my mother. In the hours preceding the interview, my mother meticulously rehearsed with me, ensuring that I knew my name, my father's name, the name of our village, my age, my hobbies, and an array of other details. Night turned into a symphony of restlessness, as anticipation mingled with the urgency of a burgeoning milestone. Thankfully, our household had been vacated by rodents and felines, a fact that brought me a sense of comfort amidst my sleepless night. As the dawn broke, my journey into the world of education commenced, and the promising path stretched before me. As the sun painted the skies with hues of gold, a new chapter of my life dawned. The village landscape, once a backdrop to my youthful explorations, now stood as a threshold to a realm I had yet to fathom, the realm of formal education. Akin to the fluttering wings of a butterfly taking its first flight, my heart danced with both excitement and trepidation. The date marked the advent of a new academic season, a time when potential scholars were carefully groomed for their impending interviews. These interviews, a gateway to knowledge, held within them the promise of unlocking the doors to a world previously unknown. With September's embrace, the village seemed to hum with anticipation, much like the distant rumble of thunder heralding the arrival of rain. The day arrived, and I stood adorned in my finest, crisp white shirt and trousers carefully selected for the occasion. Beside me, my mother radiated a mix of pride and concern. As we set off, the weight of responsibility sat heavily on her shoulders, her hand a steady anchor amidst the sea of my emotions. The journey to the school was marked by the rhythm of our footfalls and the cadence of our breathing. I walked with a mixture of childlike curiosity and the gravity of the moment, my mind replaying the words my mother had drilled into me over countless hours. My name, my father's name, the name of our village, these words had become a mantra, a testament to my readiness for this new phase of life. Upon our arrival, the school's campus unveiled itself, a sanctuary of learning framed by verdant trees and echoing with the whispers of knowledge. The air held a sense of expectancy, as if the very walls of the institution were privy to the dreams and aspirations of the young souls that would soon grace its halls. As the interview commenced, I stood before a panel of educators, their eyes a mosaic of interest and evaluation. My mother, a pillar of strength, by my side, radiated silent encouragement. The questions flowed like a gentle stream, each one a vessel carrying a fragment of my identity, my hobbies, my age, my family's description, the pets that had once inhabited our household. The houses that framed our own. In the recesses of my mind, I recalled the nights of preparation, the sleepless hours spent reciting and rehearsing. With each answer that left my lips, I felt a connection to the larger world beyond our village, a world where learning was not limited to the parameters of our home. And then, the interview concluded, leaving behind a sense of both accomplishment and curiosity. As my mother and I retraced our steps, I pondered the significance of the experience. A subtle transformation had taken place. I was no longer the child confined to our compound, nor was I the wide-eyed observer of the village's activities. I had embarked on a journey that would expand my horizons and reshape my understanding of the world. Days turned into weeks, and the season rolled on. A letter arrived, bearing news that would shape my destiny. I had been accepted into the school, a proclamation that elicited jubilant celebrations within our household. My path was set, and the promise of learning beckoned, and so, dear listeners, I leave you here with a pause in the narrative, a pause that brims with promise. The third part of this unfolding tale awaits, eager to continue this journey through the tapestry of time, memory, and growth. Stay tuned, for there is much more to come.